That's smart. That's good. And how are you in terms of consistency? Are you consistent enough or you are still working on it? Not good for me. Got shuffled on Netflix. Didn't exit on time. Let's see what happened on Netflix. I'll share my screen with you guys. Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix. What got you there on Netflix? This wasn't trading bad actually. We'll get back to it now. Yeah, it was okay. So Netflix. What did you do on Netflix, Klaus? Did you go long or short? And I'm wondering where. I think you tried to get in to the long side somewhere right there for an ABCD pattern which got you subbed out. Because any other long should have worked out unless you tried to catch short on it. Lou, I got really lucky when I started and made a lot last month. It was shaky and no real gains. After May, I'm showing growing consistency. That's good. Do you have any plans of when you want to go live? I live just small side. You are live, okay. No, that's amazing. Good job, Blue. Okay, we have actually a lot of trades in the off-topic chat. I don't know why I didn't get notifications of anyone sending anything there. Yeah, I really wish you all the best, Lou. I mean, that you... I know I haven't met anyone who has traded in simulator for less than 3 months and then went live and having as much success you are. You are a fast learner, so good job. Okay, so let's start the trade review, getting the Epic Pen opened, and let's see what you did there, Charles. Tried to trade BAC, you got it to the short side another time, and short side third time. 4 times the short side. Was there any reason you were short buys on BAC, Charles, if you're here? Or it was only the price action because you missed the long side, you were trying to get the reversal? You don't remember. Do you trade mainly reversals or counter trading? Or you go also with the trend? Okay, both. I just felt like the market was going to sell off. Okay, but so look at this. Your first short right here, I think you already know why you got subbed out right there. You got in a little bit late, right? You're having a stock which is so strong, which is going up parabolically right there. It's extended of VO up, extended from the moving averages, making the first stop, dropping down, bouncing out of there, forming a double top. So this is a fake breakout. It's breaking the high of the day, but it's not strong enough to make it to the daily level right there, right? It's making a fake breakout, small wick up there, so it's forming a double top with a fake breakout, starting to drop down after a doji, and this was the perfect entry. Try to get in as close as possible to the resistance right there. This drop was so huge right there, and you got in short closer to the pivot point right here. It could have simply, if this was not going to work out, it could have just simply held this pivot point right here and went against you. So yes, it worked out partially, but this entry was a little bit late, right? There was no reason to try to get into the short side, and you got subbed out the first time because it didn't work immediately in your direction. You saw that it wicked up there, started dropping in your direction. You are still having FOMO because you missed most of the move, and you revenge traded it, reshorted there, and you got subbed out one more time. So yeah, I like the idea of trying to short it. You had the setup right here. but you miss the entry. And if you miss the entry, just ignore the trade and let it go, wait for another entry, watch another stock, and you will get it eventually. And you see this, you got multiple good entries. There is no reason to catch the one move which already went there without you. Hey Anne, and let's see what you did there. This is another trade which I actually like so much. You're having sort of 3-bar setup right there, right? It's breaking the high of the day, making a move to the long side, decent move, breaking the daily level. You're having a strong moving average on the way up there. Weekend above it, starting to drop down, decent move with no pullback, and looking at the previous price action, and this is the best thing of trading a little bit later on in the day, not at the open. You have an idea of how much the stock can move. You could see this move right here, and you could see this move right here. It's almost identical, a little bit less. And you see that you have daily level on the way, you're having a moving average on the way right there. It did a move with no pullback, so it's expected to have a pullback right there, especially after a parabolic move like that. You see that it's way far from moving averages, it's way from view up. You're not using moving averages, I see. I think some of them only, the 50 I guess, or the 200. Now, let's see what's happening after that. New 1 minute low, you take it to the short side, and this one I love it. This was a decent entry. You didn't chase it, you didn't get in right here, you got an early entry. So this was a good trade. Took your partials down there, exited at break even. What do you have now? A stock is trying to form an ABCD pattern, but it ends up making a double top with the second top lower than the first one. It doesn't shoot up right there. You're trying to catch it for a reversal right there. Sometimes this is good, sometimes it's tough, but still decent. Why is that? If it drops down a little bit in your favor, bounces out of any moving average and starts coming back up, you could exit at break even. Why would I personally exit at break even if that happens? Because now we're having an ABCD pattern with a parabolic pullback, type 3 ABCD pattern, and a W shape. It failed this double top with the second top lower than the first one. If this doesn't happen and you get a really good entry after doji, this is an amazing entry. Good job right there. You'd simply hold onto it and get a decent move out of it. So I love this one. Now what are we forming right there? We are starting to form a reversal. First of all, head and shoulders right there. Ugly one, but it's head and shoulders. We're starting to form lower highs right there. So we are getting that feeling that the stock is starting to change the trend. It's not strong anymore. Right here it was strong. Right here it was strong. Up until here it was still looking strong. But now this is changing it. This is changing it. This part of the price action which happened right here, I might have been caught in it. I might have tried it to the long side and I would have been failed, because this started to look good. Why is that? Strong stock for the day. Yes, it's starting to look weak, but I see that it's starting to form a W shape right there. We are having good buying pressure right there. It bounced off view up multiple times, right? You're starting to have a breakout on the 5-minute chart right there. So this, if anyone caught in this trade and tried to catch it to the long side right here, I don't think it would have been bad. This was a decent setup right there, but unfortunately it just fails right there. So this is fine. I mean, looking at this fake breakout, starting to continue breaking down, this just gives you the confirmation that the stock isn't strong. It had its last chance to the long side right here. It failed, and it's starting to form a consolidation area. You can either take it to the long side, which I wouldn't after this fake breakout, and the reverse hammer on the 1-minute chart and the reverse hammer on the 5-minute chart, rejecting the moving average. Or you could take it to the short side, which would be definitely better, with a stop loss at the high of the consolidation or somewhere right there. Better thing to do, which Charles did, waited for the breakout of the consolidation area, which was his entry, and look at the move. This was a good move right there. I personally wouldn't have added right here, this add right here, because this is already huge move with no pullbacks. It's closing as a hammer on the 5-minute chart down there, so it was a little bit risky. It could have reversed. I see that it worked out, but this add right here was a little bit risky. But good job, Charles. I love how you managed it. I love how you read the price action. You still followed your plan. You kept your losers small, and most importantly, you held on to your winners. Looking at the losers, you are not holding to your losers a lot, but looking at the winners, you are getting your risk to reward right there. Tanya, can you sort of help me to define what isn't a parabolic move in your opinion? Tony, is there anything more specific? So look at this. Sometimes the stock is trending. Okay, the stock is trending nicely, something like this. Okay, it's making higher highs and higher lows on the 5-minute chart, and when it's uptrending, it's always close to the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart. Okay, this is not really parabolic, it's simple trend. You could see these type of trends on some days happening for hours and hours. Okay, and if I see a new 5-minute low, in this case I wouldn't short this new 5-minute low right here. Why is that? It's so close to the 9 and the 5. This is a clear trend. It could just simply do a small new 5-minute low, then continue trending above the 5-minute chart, small new 5-minute low, and continue trending above the 5-minute chart. When the stock is getting some volume and it's going straight up like this, the moving average can't catch up with it. The moving average is somewhere right there, but the stock is trending something like this. It's just getting so far with no pullbacks. This is what I consider a parabolic move right there. If the stock is trending something like this, it's catching up with the moving averages, not necessarily so close to it. You could have sometimes, let's say this is the 9 moving average on the 5-minute chart, you could have the stock a little bit far from the 9 and the 5, and it's trending. Let me actually draw the candles first. Oh my god, I know that this is horrible, I'm sorry about this, but anyway, the stock could be far from the 9 and the 5, but you could see that the distance between the 9 and the 5 and each candle, those are not wicks, this is just the distance. The distance between the candles and the wicks, it's the same. It's still not parabolic. Okay, you could catch parabolic, try to short right there, but not likely this is going to pull back. You see that the trend is clear. I mean, the distance between the candles and the 9 is defined, right? Once it starts getting farther from the 9 and the 5 and the distance starts to change, you see that it was uptrending clearly right here, and the distance between the candles and the 9 moving average was the same, and here it started just shooting up, rocketing up, and the distance between the 9 and the 5 started to increase. Now this is a parabolic move right there. This was just simple trend right there. Hey Zen. For me, I want to see at least 3 or 4 continuous 2-minute green candles with higher highs and higher lows. At least. Why do I want to see continuous candle on the 2-minute chart with higher highs and higher lows? Because my entry is a new 2-minute low. If I have a price action which is parabolic but is not clear on the 2-minute chart, like huge 2-minute candles, then new lows, then huge 2-minute candles, and then low, then a huge 2-minute candles, and then a low. Why don't I love this price action? My signal in entering these type of trades is the new 2-minute low. And if the stock did fake new 2-minute lows on its parabolic move to the upside many times, this would not be great for me, because I might get caught in one of those fake new 2-minute lows. The more clear the trend is, the more clear the reversal is going to form. And even if you start to have a double top on the 2-minute chart after a clear uptrend, you could also feel it, like it was so strong and now it's double topping and it's so extended. This might be the beginning of the pullback. You want to have a clear price action before trying to catch one of those. Lou, let's see what you have there. You're welcome, Tony. So Lou, you traded Oxy, same thing, you tried to catch it to the short side. Look at this. This is not so clean, but still it's clean, right? You had one fake breakout right there, and I might have, I watched it. Actually, yeah, I think Ryan did call it to me. He told me that this is shooting up so much to the long side and it's making a shooting star. I liked it a little bit, but since it was like the 4th minute only, and it made a move from below view up all the way up to view up, and view up was somewhere in the middle right here, I was hesitant about taking the first short. I started liking the second short, but this happened only after 2 minutes, so I was hesitant yet. I'm not sure. I mean, if you caught in this one short right here, I think it's fine. It wasn't the worst setup right there. This definitely got better. You have 2 minute, 2 good looking 1 minute candles, and then a new 1 minute low. This wasn't bad, but it was too early to try to get into a parabolic reversal after 3 or 4 minutes. Close to view up, close to horizontal moving average, shorting it somewhere right there with the stop right there, you'll get 3R right there. It's decent, but I didn't like it visually. This was decent. If you caught in this one and got failed, then I think it's fine. This one was good. two good looking 1 minute candles, enough extended. You're starting to see that weakness started to come on the 5 minute chart. Two green candles and then a doji on the 5 minute chart. You see that this is an indecision candle. It shot up, then it got sold off, closed as a doji right there. Unfortunately, no daily level confirmation. I'm not sure if there was daily level. If there was daily level, then it was good. If not, then that's sad. No increasing volume, so it's not an A plus reversal or not an A plus setup, but it's still a good one. You took it to the short side and you start partialing there. And yes, those are so many partials, but at least you held on for your first partial to be at least 2-1, which is good. There was a daily level here. Okay, now that's good. So you had a daily level right here. You had a parabolic move right there. You had two good looking 1 minute candles, new low. Volume isn't there, but everything else was there. So yeah, that's a good one. Same thing you tried to catch on this one. You traded it both sides. That's amazing. So dropping down, not the cleanest price action again. I don't like fake wicks, two good looking 1 minute candles, but this was not a good looking 1 minute candle since it had selling pressure. Yeah, if I see this 1 minute candle right here, I'm not sure I would take a new 1 minute high for this reversal. I see some selling pressure there. I'll be hesitant. Here though, a hammer at the low of the day and another good looking 1 minute candle with a bigger wick down there. If you miss it on the 1 minute chart and miss this entry right here, you're having a doji on the 5 minute chart. And if you're having a doji on the 5 minute chart with a new 5 minute high, it is much better than having a doji on the 2 minute chart or on the 1 minute chart and a new 1 minute high. The risk to reward is still great. Stop loss is still tight. The target is still way big right there. So good job. I see that you're holding on so well for your first partial, but after taking the first partial, you're starting to over partial, right? If you are so patient to get your 2R and it's finally shooting up, and look at this, you're having a reverse head and shoulders setup. This is the reversal pattern. You're having a doji at the low of the day. You're having a new 5 minute high. It tried to form a reverse ABCD pattern, which actually failed right there, and it formed the shoulder and started shooting up. This is a good sign. It's breaking the neckline. This is the neckline level, and on head and shoulders, if you have a clear neckline level and it breaks it, this is actually a strong indicator of a reversal right there. And now it's just beginning the move, and you could see that once those candles, all those candles, they were small, but once it's breaking this neckline level right here, look at the candle size. They are distinguishably different, right? They are way bigger because this is the beginning of the move. You started partialing at the beginning of the move, but could have been just a little bit easier with those partials. First partial at your risk to reward, second partial at the 9 and the 5, second partial at the 200 moving average or the 50, I'm not sure. I think this is the 50 moving average, and then just simply continue partialing all the way up, especially that it's not doing anything against you, just shooting clearly to the upside only. But still, I love your entry, and I love that you're patient, at least for taking your first partial. Work on taking the second partials, and that will be amazing. I mean, I'm still working on this part right here as well. It's not easy to hold on to your winners, especially when you are in a move which you know is not the trend, especially when you know that you're going against the trend and the stock will go against you at any moment, right? You are getting into a parabolic pullback because you know this is a pullback. You don't aim for a full reversal. You know that at one moment or another, it will just simply go against you. You just don't know where that moment is. And because of that, this makes holding to these type of trades a little bit tough. If you are getting into the downtrend with an entry anywhere right there, and you have those type of pullbacks, you will not care much about them because you know that you are on the right side. You are on the right trend. But still, good job there. Hey, can you open my image on YouTube? There was some info on that and I forgot about it. Yeah, JP, I'll actually delete it. I deleted your screenshot, JP. You can delete the text there or hide the info you wanted and upload it here, and I'll take a look at it. It's totally fine. You can re-upload it now there and hide the account number, and let's see Gigi what you did there. Gigi traded M to the short side. Gigi, what was this setup? This is a good one. I love it. You can either call it a descending triangle. I have to enter manually the number of shares because M is on SSR with CMEG. Was the wrong number of shares. How too low in this case? You trade thinking in hours or you price action. Stop loss 729. I'm still in it because it's sinking. So yeah, since I usually trade in term of hours, but if I get in low shares, not my maximum shares, I will still consider it as 1 hour. When you are getting into a trade and when you are setting a plan, let's say your risk was around 6 cents right there, and your target at the beginning of the trade was 710, which is somewhere right here. You definitely have nothing at 710, so you could definitely hold on into this trade. But let's say you're having a daily level right here. You got in half size. Now the stock reached this level, and because it's half size, you will get only 1 hour at this level. If I did the same thing you did and I entered, let's say, half size and it's getting into my target, which is 1 hour, I'll take a partial. Because when I entered in, that was my target. I saw this daily level and I entered only because I knew that the stock might get closer to this daily level and after that it might bounce. Yes, it's less size than I wanted to get. Yes, it's less reward I will get right there, but that was my plan, right? This was a hotkey mistake. This was me calculating my shares wrong, but that doesn't mean that I need to turn this small winner into a loser. In your case right here, looking at this, it was going up strongly, started dropping down, so this was a parabolic reversal. It tried to come back up, didn't do the W shape, right? You see that it's dropping down and it's starting to form an A, B, C. Look at this area right here. This will determine whether the stock is going to be a long or going to be a short. If it's dropping down and it's either holding this area right here and bouncing out of it, or dropping right here and bouncing out of this one, in this case you will have an A, B, C, parabolic pullback, third type, with a W shape right here, D, and you will get your entry to the long side on a strong stock. Now, what happened here? It did the A, did the B, did the C. You are looking at it, you wanted to bounce, you wanted to make a W shape before you take it to the long side. Don't take it on the first new 5-minute high after this drop, because it can do anything at this moment. You are watching it, and what happens? It breaks this. So am I looking at it to the long side now? Not really. Now I'm actually looking for a reverse ABCD pattern, right? I see that it's dropping down, and I'm just trying to get an entry. Either I take it to the short side here if the risk to reward is good, put my stop loss right there and try to get the reward down there. Risk, reward. If it's 2-to-1, not bad. I might chase it a little bit. If I want to get it a little bit tighter, I would wait for it to do another pullback, because market is trading in waves. It doesn't simply sell off, right? It's always doing pullbacks, and I'll be waiting for one of those pullbacks. And I love this entry. You see a confirmation candle on the 1-minute chart. You could have got a little bit earlier right there, but I guess you couldn't because the stock is on SSR. You got in right here, and good patience right there. Look at these guys. Drop down, pull back. You know you are in the right position, right? You are on the right side. It's actually weak. The next level or next pivot point you have is the low of the day, then the low of the pre-market, and you held onto it all the way to the low of the day. I got 2 partials because of the level 2. How do you read that level 2? So look, this is amazing. I love your partial. If I see this amount of share size, this is a wall right there. And thank you for actually sharing this with us. Look at these guys. You see the level 2? You are having 70. What's that? That's actually 700,000 shares right there. Yeah, you are having a really huge wall right there. 700,000 shares, 130,000 shares, 120,000 shares, around 1 million shares wall at $7. And it is a whole number. Good, thanks for that note, Zen. If you are short in this thing, you definitely want to take a partial at the round number which is $7. You don't want to hold on for that break. It could break it, yes, but this is actually a good place. You go and take your profit below or before those big players right there. Don't go against them. If you are in at 7.08 and that's your target, and you see those orders at $7, then yes, that's a weak sign, and you might want to hold it all the way to 7.01 and 7.02, because you see that there is a big buyer down there. There is a big player down there at $7. He is still sitting there. He doesn't increase his bid to 7.01. He didn't increase his bid to 7.02. He is staying put at $7, and he believes that the price will go there. So that might be a signal for you not to partial right here. Yes, it looks like it's holding this level right here, but this guy is sitting down there. So he believes that the price will go there, and you believe that the price will go with him. He might be more experienced. He might be manipulating the price to go down. So just take a partial a little bit before that big buy right there. Let's see what it did there actually. That's interesting. What was that stock again? GG, let's say it was M. Yeah, it held it for around 5 minutes, and look at the increasing volume, guys. You see this? 1 million shares in 1 minute, and then it immediately dumped. Actually, I play those walls sometimes. If it is extended from the 9 moving average in the 5 minute chart, here it wasn't extended from the 9 on the 5, and I see this big of a wall, I try to go against this wall. I buy my share size at 701, put my stop loss at 699. This is not a hard stop. I'm never using hard stops in these type of plays. Why is that? We can actually maximize this, and I'll just quickly go through this trade. Now, let's say I'm going to the long side with this buy above this big buyer right there at 7. Put my stop loss either at 7 or 7.01. Normally it's 7. I just give it 1 cent stop loss, but I don't wait to get stopped out, because I know that if this thing gets broken, it will dump 10 cents, 20 cents, 15 cents. It could just dump a lot, and I'll get 10R, 15R loser. How do I manage these type of trades? We're having around 1 million shares, right, on the bid, and I stare to it closely. If it makes 5-6 cents pullback, which is decent, I will take a partial at 5 cents, which is 5 Rs. That's amazing. If by any means those 1 million shares become 300,000 shares or 500,000 shares, which is the half, I will just exit of the trade before the wall is broken. Don't wait till the last minute, because sometimes you can get crazy volume like this, 1 million shares, 500 million shares, and it will drop down. Don't wait till you see only 50,000 shares left or 100,000 shares left, because you could just simply get a huge order in 1 minute of 300,000 share size left, 300 shares share size. You don't want to get caught in this thing, and you need to manage these type of trades. This is actually really risky, but I want to share that with you. Yeah, exactly, Master Chief. I just watch it, and if I see that those shares are starting to get eaten and they're starting to get less and less and smaller, I just bail on the trade. I've watched BA and mRNA. When they break a wall, they invite a slippage up to $1. That's smart, Lou, and that's what I was talking about. If you see a huge wall, don't wait for it to get broken if you are playing these type of trades, or if you are having a tight stop loss right there. And if your target below the wall, let's say 1 or 2 cents, you might want to give it 5, 6, 7 cents more below the wall, because when these type of walls are getting broken, they do drop a lot. Thank you for sharing that, Gigi. Ethan, let's see what you did there. So Ethan traded AMD. This was a good setup right there. This is a 5-minute opening range breakdown on AMD with a reverse ABCD pattern on the 1-minute chart and close to VWAP, plus it's breaking the low of the pre-market level. This is a really good setup. You are having a lot of stuff combined together. First of all, stock is more weak than strong. You see that it's mostly below the moving averages, right? At the pre-market, it's starting to go up. It still closed below this moving average right there, and it got sold off. If you missed the 1 or the 2 minute open range breakdown or the 3 minute open range breakdown, which were all good to the short side, I love all those entries to the short side. If you miss those entries, you definitely don't want to chase it on a big candle, right? You just wait for a pullback or let it go without you and wait for a reversal. What's happening right here? It's forming a reverse ABCD pattern. It's breaking the low of the pre-market. It's a 5 minute open range breakdown. It's a reverse, I'm saying this the third time, and it's below all the moving averages. You get your entry, you put your stop loss either, as you said, at the middle if you want to give it some room, or at the top right there, and then just start partialing all the way down, which was good. This I wouldn't have done. This I wouldn't have added right here. Why is that? First of all, look at this. You are having a small descending triangle, a small reverse ABCD pattern. You see that it's dropping down, consolidating a little bit, breaking down, consolidating a little bit, right? It's not so clear, but it's there. And look what's happening right here. You're having sort of a level which is being held for 4 minutes, and then it's being broken. This is a good sign for the shorts. This is a bad sign for the shorts, because it broke down this consolidation area right here, but it didn't sink. It got bought back up and it got engulfed. This was a small fake breakdown right there. It's closing as a hammer on the 5 minute chart. You see the buying pressure wick right there? It is extended from the 9 moving average on the 5 minute chart and view up. Still no decent pullback. And I see that you're buying it on the way up. You are trying to buy in it as close as possible to the resistance, which is smart. You don't want to buy low, sell low and buy high. You want to get an entry as close as possible to the resistance, but not in this case. In this case, it's starting to form a small reverse head and shoulders pattern. It is forming a reversal on the 5 minute chart, and it's a fake breakdown right here, getting bought on the 1 minute chart and closing as hammer. This is actually the beginning of the pullback, so I wouldn't have added right here. This entry though, it was perfect, and I guess you stopped out the rest at break even, so not a big loss. You only risked your unrealized, which wasn't that much. Still good job there. Tom, let's see what you did there. Okay, this is just a little bit small. I have no idea what stock that is. Tom, are you there? What stock was this one? We'll take a look at it on DAS. This is Uber. Let's say Uber here. Look at Uber and try to analyze it here, because there is no enough price action data to analyze this one. Was this today? I guess it was today, looking at those candles right here. Let's get it back here. Let's look at the 30-minute chart, the daily chart, and let's see if it's following the SPY first. It is following the SPY, kind of. SPY, Uber, SPY. No, it's not following it. I'm sorry about it. It might have some influence of it. Maybe it followed it a bit, but I can't really tell if it's following it. Yeah, it is following it. It has some influence from the SPY. I mean, just looking at the 15-minute chart, it kind of does, but yeah, I will not say that it's following it. Let's see what happened on Uber. So Uber, on the daily chart, it gapped down. At the pre-market, it sold off, started getting bought back up. You see that it tried to break down here to try to get sold off, but it got bought back up. And at the open, it sold off right here. It broke all those levels right here. The very second candle, this is a short squeeze. It makes an engulfing. Let me actually make it bigger right here, and let's analyze it from the 1 minute chart now, because we looked at the 5 minute chart and everything which happened there. So at the first minute, it's selling off. You could see clearly that it's breaking all the levels that it had there, broke even this level right here. So definitely after this candle, I'll be short bias on it. The next candle, it is making an engulfing. This is a short squeeze. And what Tom did is he took it to the long side on a new 1 minute high, which wasn't bad. This wasn't a bad short squeeze or a 2 minute open range break up. Why is that? This candle right here on a 2 minute candle, if this is a red and this is a green, it was going to close as a hammer, right? First minute it sold off. Second minute, it got both back up. It closed here, it opened here. So yeah, it will be something like this. It will look like this. This is the 2-minute chart. This is the 2-minute chart. Then it's making a new 2-minute high. You're taking it to the long side, and unfortunately it's getting you stopped out. So for a 2-minute open range breakout, looking at the price action at the pattern, this wasn't bad. But looking at the 5-minute chart, having the resistance right above your head, so you're taking it to the long side here, 33.10, somewhere at 33.10, 32.90, actually 32.90, which is not bad. So you're taking it to the long side at 32.90, you're having a moving average above your head, 33.17. Yeah, this is not bad. It just didn't give you the push you wanted to get, and it dropped down. You had room all the way to this moving average, and it did reach it eventually, but after getting you stopped out and before selling off. So yeah, this wasn't the worst setup. It was fine, just didn't work out. Hey Mariana Alexandra. Michael. But didn't give clear action. Yeah, looking at this, it was a little bit tough, right? First of all, a red candle, then an engulfing, not a bad 2-minute opening range breakout right there. And then it just wicking down, wicking up, quick move right there. I mean, I wouldn't have caught this thing to the long side. I need a little bit more confirmation. And then it's moving up, engulfing, dropping down slowly, getting into this. Yeah, this wasn't clear. All the way right here, it wasn't clear. Right here, it got decent a little bit. Kind of head and shoulders, but this is an ugly head and shoulders. You see this wick up there, new 5-minute low, but the price action wasn't clear. I think right here it was better. At least you're having a reverse ABCD pattern in the 5-minute chart with an M shape, but still it's not so clear. It's just a little bit twicky, a little bit choppy, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't be long buys after this whole price action right here. Would be waiting for a short entry. Michael, what did you do? Traded UAL to the long side. We'll take a look at the 5-minute chart. Looking at the 1-minute chart, not bad, going up, starting to consolidate below the 200 moving average, and you took it to the long side after this small weak bounce of the moving average. I would have been concerned about this moving average, knowing myself, but I guess you went for the breakout of this moving average and you started partialing up. This entry was much better. This entry was a little bit risky, it was a little bit tough because you're having the moving average and I hate going against horizontal moving averages right in my way. It already did a decent move, around $1.50 move right there, or $1 move right there. So UAL, it doesn't move a lot as far as we know, and after this whole move I would personally expect to pull back or at least some consolidation. Having the 200 moving average above my head after this move will make me concerned about taking this trade. Taking it here was definitely a better idea. Why is that? It broke this moving average, it pulled back, you're having one buying wick right there, another buying wick right there. A new 1-minute high could put your stop loss somewhere right there. Never using the wicks as my stop loss. Taking your entry and then partialing all the way to the daily level. So the first entry was a little bit risky and a little bit tough. Glad it worked out. Second entry was really good on the 1-minute chart. Airline these days are not longer the ones before. AL, when they moved 100%, I agree, Lou. They are starting to move away a lot and they are starting to get back up. Can you have a quick look at EUA? What's EUA? What is that? EUA? Marian, I'm not sure you typed the ticker correctly, so make sure to check it and get back to me and we'll take a look at it. JP. Let's see what you did there. Yeah, Michael, your ad was amazing. Even if that was an independent entry, that was really good. I like it. It was above the moving average, it was above everything, and you got a nice play out of it with the double confirmation candles. The first one was a little bit definitely tough. So JP, let's see what you did there. Traded WFC. I loved trading WFC before. Lately it gave me a little bit of hard time, so I stopped trading it. Now let's see what you did on WFC. WFC in the pre-market, it was selling off. That's the pre-market right there. At the open, it squeezed off above all the moving averages on all the time frames. So looking at this, I'll definitely be long biased, but after this much of a move with no pullbacks, I'll be a little bit short biased. For a pullback, I'll wait for an ABCD pattern before I take it to the long side. First ABCD pattern, first high, never taking it. After this huge of a move and a drop like this, I tried to wait for a W shape, which didn't happen right there. This wasn't a pullback, this was just simply drop. If it was something like this, I would consider taking it to the long side, but still definitely not after this huge of a move. Now looking at it, what's going to happen? You're seeing clearly selling pressure wicks on the top, right? Selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure, selling pressure, and you are taking it to the short side, which was a smart idea. Stop loss half of the wicks, somewhere around that. That's what I would have done, especially if I'm getting on a new 1 minute low. Added a little bit more, but that was a little bit of early partials, right? Looking at the 5 minute chart, the closest level you had is right here, and you started partialing so early right there. So yeah, that was a little bit of early partials. The entry was amazing. Entry was really good. Partials were a little bit early. Then you're having sort of a reverse ABCD pattern, and I see it, and that wasn't bad. Why is that? Because the stock didn't give you the W shape. The long has died. The long is not there anymore, at least for now, right? And you could see that it actually, instead of doing that, it did a double top with the second top lower than the first one, and now you're looking for a reverse ABCD pattern, which is a decent thing to do. You add it to your position and you partialed all the way down there. So at least here you gave it some time to run. I mean, looking at these partials right there and these partials right there, you gave it time to run. And what I want to show you here is the psychology of big share size. If you are getting your short right here and putting your stop loss right here, you will not partial at these areas, right, JP? You will simply hold on to it at least for 1 hour. And if you are holding on to it at least for 1 hour because your stop loss was all the way up there, it means you knew that it could make this move right here. Now that you are in it with a heavier share size, why not holding on to it as if your stop loss was here? Right here, you are not trading the setup, you are not trading the plan, and you are not trading the price action, right? You are trading the P&L because of the psychology of the big share size, and that's normal. I'm not saying you that this is wrong or you're trading bad. I'm doing the same thing sometimes. If you are so heavy and you are seeing that you are getting 2 hours or 3 hours so fast, you tend to take partials. But we need all as traders to learn when we should hold to our setups and when we should just partial, right? Being heavy here doesn't mean that we need to partial so early. This is only 1 minute candle. This is the beginning of the move. And if we were to hold to this one with a wide stop loss, why not holding it here with a big share size? Forget about the share size. Follow your plan. You're having your stop loss. You're having lower lows and lower highs. The stock is way extended. It's more weak on the daily. It's more weak on the 15-minute chart. It's extended there. It's starting to form not only a new 2-minute low, it's also forming a new 5-minute low. It's also forming a new 15-minute low, right? It's more weak than it's strong. Then just hold on to it. Hold on to this. At least for a technical level, you have view up any moving average, and that's it. Here you got in with a small share size, and look at this. Because this was a small share size, you held on more than you held there, right? If this here was the same share size as there, you would have partialed at the same 1 minute candle. It's just the psychology of getting heavy in some kind of positions, and we need to get rid of this. We need to work on this. No matter what share size we're in, we need to try to follow our trading plan. I see that, but yeah, good job. I love both of your entries. You did well there. it's always better to take first partial, because after the first partial, you know that you are in the winner. You know that if the stock reverses and gets back to your break even, you'll just exit at break even and you will have some green locked. If you didn't take that partial and it started going against you, you'll just simply hold it to your original loss and it will be 1 hour loser. I know how that feels. Most of us are doing that. I still find that the smaller share size, I partial less. Yeah, definitely, Ryan. With a smaller share size, you let it run to get to your target, and you actually starting to read the price action better because you get used to holding it to your position. Master Chief, I wait at least for 2 hours before I take some partial. Lou, it's the same thing here. Let me actually share my trades with you, and I'll get you through the good things and bad things I did today. I traded, what did I trade today? I traded mRNA. And I traded the SPY, I think. Let me actually quickly check what I traded today. I think it was mRNA and the SPY. Yeah, it was mRNA and the SPY. So the first trade I've taken was mRNA right here. Master Chief, it depends. And I'll let you know exactly right now how did I take partial on this one. Sometimes my first partial is 20% or 30%. It's so rare that I take 10% partials. Most of the time it's 20 or 30 as a first partial. Sometimes my first partial is 50% and sometimes it's 70%. And I'll get to this one right here. So mRNA, why did I take this thing to the long side? Look at the daily chart. You're having a chopping out area right here. It's trading in a range, right? Having some buying pressure wicks, and so whether this is the daily chart, whether this is a 5-minute chart, whether this is a 1-minute chart, it's still the same, but the time frame is different, right? Now it's gapping up above this range right here, and I was definitely long biased on this looking at the daily. Now let's look at the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart in the pre-market. Move up, ABCD pattern. You could see here it did a move, it started consolidating. You're having a W shape on the 5-minute chart, not a bad ABCD pattern. So what do I see right here? I see an A, I see a B, I see a pullback, I see a W shape right here, and now I'm long biased, but I can't take it in the pre-market. The market was about to open, the price action isn't so clear. I want to see what it's going to do at the open. At the open, it's selling off, not so much, still holding above the C area, getting both back up. I tried to get an earlier entry. Unfortunately, I didn't get that because of the slippage. I got in right here, gave just a little bit around the wick as my stop loss, and I held on all the way to the pre-market level. Now my 2 Rs were somewhere right here, but I didn't take a partial at 2 Rs. Why is that? Daily chart is looking so good, 5-minute chart looking so good, 15-minute chart you're having a hammer and it's breaking up, 1-minute chart is looking so good. The only level I have on my way, the pre-market area level right here. So why not holding on for the pre-market level as my target? Now it's going up, pulling back. I don't care about that yet. Why is that? Because market is trading in waves. It never just goes straight back up or straight down. It did a move from 62.60 all the way to 64.30. That wasn't a small move. That was around $1.50 and more than that. And after that, it pulled back to the 9 on the 1. If it got back all the way here, I still wouldn't exit. Here, I wouldn't exit. Breaking view up, getting in the range, I might exit on this one. Now, it's going up. And how much did I partial right here? This partial right here was 50% of my position. Not 30% and not 20%. Why is that? Because this is a technical level right here. I'm not sure if it's going to break it. But I was definitely more long biased. To be honest, I thought it will go even to $70 today, and because of this consolidation area, it broke out right here. It broke even this area. The next level we have is the gap area, 68, and then the close, which is around $70. I thought it will go there, and that's why I partial 50% right here, because I still believe that it will go up. If we had a different price action, let's say mRNA gap down today, and it did a good setup in the pre-market and it started going up and it's getting into pre-market level. In this case, the pre-market level, I would have partialed a 70%, most of my position out, because it's weak on the daily, it's strong intraday, but when it's weak on the daily, even if it moves a little bit up, intraday, it eventually sells off. It could go a little bit up and it will sell off. If it's strong intraday, or sorry, on the daily, if it sells off intraday, it will eventually get back up, and I will be looking for a trend trade intraday on stocks which is uptrending. Now this gapped up, I believe that it will go up, so I took only 50% partial at this pre-market level, went more right there, and I just exited all. I'm not sure why I exited all here. I should have held it a little bit more. I think it's because it stalled, or maybe I hit the target, but this was bad thing I did. There was no reason for me to partial, and this is what I was telling you guys. We need to work on this. I am also to blame when I'm giving you some comments on your trades. It's not because I'm saying that you're trading bad or anything. It's just that I'm trying to help you with stuff I myself still am working on. We need to try as hard as possible to hold on to some winners when there are no reasons which are telling us to exit. There was no reason telling me to exit right here. There was no reason telling me to exit on the daily. No level, nothing. Higher highs and higher lows on the 1 minute chart, small consolidation and a breakout. If I exited right here, that would have been totally fine. Why is that? Parabolic move, extended from the 9 moving average on the 5 minute chart, doji on the 2 minute chart, and a new 2 minute low. If this exit was here, I would be proud of myself. This exit right here, this wasn't so smart actually. What's my stop loss here? So my stop loss here, I just gave it some room. This was a momentum play. The stock dropped down, got immediately bought back up. When I took it to the long side, I didn't have a technical stop loss. I went in with the moment. I just took some partial, and I just simply double clicked here because I knew it will not look back. I could have clicked right here, right when it moved from red to green, this candle, but that would have been so tight because of the spread. And after I double click, I get hard stop. I wanted to give it some room just to survive the consolidation within the 1 minute candle. So it started as a momentum play. Once it started working in my favor, it just became a trend. I mean, do you have special conditions for taking ABCDs off the pre-market, or do you treat them the same? Even if the price action is clear, similar to what here, I will treat them the same rules. Stock is moving up so strong, it's pulling back, making a W shape. I like this ABCD pattern. The daily is looking good. All the time frames are looking good. This is even also a harmonious chart along with the ABCD pattern, and I just simply take it off there. I set MRNA swing goal at 67, just 30 cents away from high of day. Yeah, that's definitely sad. I'm not sure. I think it might come back. Let's see what it's doing right now, actually. Yeah, I don't like it, to be honest, now. It could reverse later on the day. It could do anything tomorrow. I'm not sure why it gapped up today. Did it have any news? Kevin, I got 5 realized in this one. Some vaccine news trial in 3rd of July. Yeah, maybe it will come back up. We never know, right? So another trade I've taken was the SPY. Actually on the SPY I got lucky because I wanted to get into it here for loser. I actually double clicked and I got it both right here, which I thought I was filled. On this one I'll tell you why. And then I hit the sell button right here and I noticed that my shares weren't sold, so I guess I wasn't filled, or I didn't even click the hotkey for buy, so this would have been a loser for me. And I'll tell you my thought process on this one. I got lucky in this one. This trade here, this part right here, it should have been a loser for me, but I didn't get filled there. Now let's see what happened in the SPY. SPY gap down, sold off nicely around $2 right there, getting into a pre-market level. You see the pre-market area right here? This is the pre-market low. It's getting into pre-market low, wicking below it, getting bought back up. Not an increasing volume, no parabolic volume, but you're having a 1 minute hammer right there. It's close. I take it on a new 1 minute high, and as usually I don't use my stop loss at the low of the day. I use my stop loss at the previous week candle, which was this. This was supposed to be my stop loss. Taking it to the long side, and I hit the sell button right here, but I didn't get filled on my win, and I didn't get filled right here. So yeah, I got lucky. I would have been stopped out here 100% if I had taken this trade. After that, I am taking it to the long side one more time. This time I did another mistake. Remember when I told you guys never put your stop loss within the 1 minute candle? Usually when I use these type of trades, I put my stop loss below the bodies. That's the tightest I could go for. In this case, I just put it within the body, somewhere right there, exactly at the body. And I was 1 cent of getting stopped out. This partial was so early. I thought it was 2 to 1. This wasn't even a 2 to 1. This was a bad partial right here. I didn't follow my rules. This partial 311, it was decent. Why is that? I'm going against a horizontal moving average. And I told you that I hate those horizontal moving averages because sometimes they hold. And so this partial for me, it was decent. The last one, instead of a partial exactly at the horizontal moving average, I added, which messed up my risk to reward, and I exited all. So basically this trade wasn't the best. It should have been one loser right here and a small winner right here, because first of all, quick partial and an add which messed up my risk to reward. Master Chief, maybe if the COVID-19 situation gets ended, I might come to US because I really want to visit the US. I actually even want to move in there in the future if I can. But for now, the money I'm making is really good for me to live here in Russia. But I don't think it's enough for me to live in the US. You have a really expensive life there. Duncan, I'm trading from Russia. So do you have any questions, guys? Well, if not, I hope you all had a great trading day. And as always, don't overtrade, don't revenge trade. Keep your losses small, follow your rules, because day trading is possible to anyone. We just need to work on our psychology, we need to work on our discipline, and the moment we start controlling our emotions, the moment we become patient waiting for our setups, and the moment we start not caring about the losers, we'll be caring about the losers, but the moment we start accepting the losses and knowing that losing is a part of day trading, just keep your losses at your max loss for the day, keep your targets at your goals or above. Don't give your winners back, and then consistency will come. Anyone can make it, but it really requires a lot of discipline, patience, and following the rules. Have a good day, everyone. I'll be in the chat room. If you have any questions, you can always email me. Guys on YouTube, if you have questions, you can always email me at the email I'm going to type right here. And have a good day, everyone.